Welcome back to the Decision Masters podcast, friends. I'm Kirsten Parker, one of two coaches for you today. I'm so excited to welcome back to the podcast Kelsea Neal, who is the first closet coach I have ever spoken with and we have ever had here on the podcast. And I am dying for you to hear everything she has to say. So if you are ready to make your mornings easier and start feeling better about the process of getting dressed and find out some pretty mind-blowing new ways to think about your style and how it is impacting your confidence, your self-image, how you show up in a room, how you feel about yourself every day, that is what you're going to get out of this conversation. I personally got so much out of this interview, so I hope you get a lot out of it too. Enjoy. Welcome back to the Decision Masters podcast, Kelsea Neal.
Thank you.
We were just talking about how Kelsea is the first repeat guest, which is a big deal because you have a lot of wisdom to share. So
I'm
can't
so
stay away.
honored.
I can't get enough of you.
Thanks.
Why don't you tell us what you're here to talk about? Because Kelsey's about to make everyone's lives easier, y'all.
Yes.
And personally, I am in the front row seat here because I'm like, make my life easier.
I am your closet coach. I am going to help you transform how you feel every morning when you get dressed. Because probably right now you're feeling like, I have too many clothes. I don't know what to wear. I just wear the same things all the time. There's clothes in my closet that still have tags in them. Why did I even buy them? There's so many emotions and so many things. And you know what? The truth is you get to feel better. You deserve it. You can. Every single person on the planet deserves to feel confident, empowered, sexy, all the good things when they put clothes on their body and walk out the door every day. Or, jump on Zoom if you're working remote.
When you throw on clothes and take that commute to the other side of your house.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so you described exactly how I feel. I wear the same things every day. I've never got around to figuring out what my style is, quote unquote. And now I'm
Yes.
40. So this just isn't something I'm going to do. I also am not going to dedicate hours a week to this because I just can't and I don't care that much.
Right. And, when we were growing up, when we were kids, we had the opportunity to play dress up. And that was part of our social life. That was part of learning how to be a person. What clothes we put on our body was just explored a lot more. And then some of us maybe in college had roommates. So it's a social thing of oh, should I wear this top or this top? Because I really want to wear this skirt. What shoes should I put with this? So many of us now have none of that in our lives anymore. We're adults. We have full-time jobs. We are super busy. We probably don't live with roommates anymore. We probably live with a partner who may or may not care about clothing.
Yeah.
And you know what? We deserve to have that back in our lives. We deserve to play dress up. We deserve to experiment with our look and have fun.
Yeah, it's not fun for me. And even for several people who might not identify with my particular situation, where I'm like, I just don't think I ever figured out my style and maybe I never will. Maybe you have a better idea of what your style is, but I don't know how many people are having fun at this moment in their day. And it's really an opportunity for a lot of stress. It can kickstart decision fatigue before you've even started your day.
For sure.
And you're saying that can all get easier.
It doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah. So we're going to
Yeah.
bust some myths about style and fashion. And we're going to talk about how, if you're in this position where you want to either seize this opportunity in your day to have more fun, or you really do need to figure out what your style is and lessen the decision fatigue, lessen the confusion, the overwhelm, you're going to set us on the right path here.
Yes. Yes, I am. Yeah. Many people think in order to be fashionable, in order to be stylish, you have to spend a bunch of money on clothes. You have to buy the high-end brand name clothing. That's definitely not true. Whether you shop at Prada or Neiman Marcus or TJ Maxx or, Target, it doesn't matter where you get your clothing. What matters is that what you are getting and what you're putting on your body makes you feel the way that you want to feel. So let's just start with that. Number one, you do not have to be wearing expensive name brands to feel the way you deserve to feel every day.
Great.
Yes.
This is great because people like me love a rule. We love a
Mhm.
guideline.
Mhm.
We are just trying to find order in the chaos around us every day. But some of these rules that we have either learned or assumed or created ourselves do not serve us. They
Right.
create more limitation, they create more chaos. And this is one of those rules that we do not have to follow. There is
Yeah.
actually not a rule about where you should shop or how much money you should be spending.
Feel the way you wanna feel. Yeah, the media and our culture, especially when it comes to fashion, has put so many unattainable rules onto
Mm,
us. They're everywhere, and it is really hard to actually look at that and say, "No, that is not true. I'm not gonna follow that quote unquote rule
yeah,
and do your own thing." But we've got to because they're all made up.
yeah.
They're all made up and they're all just put on us by our culture, and we can do what we want. We can wear what we want. That can be scary to people. What I like to do with my clients is just rewrite those rules. If a societal rule is you can't wear white after Labor Day or something very stereotypical like that, we can rewrite that. If it's easier for you to wake up every morning and have a list of rules that you can follow because it makes decision making so much easier,
Uh-huh.
then great. But let's write those rules for you. Let's create them in a way that serves you. And the end game is to make your decision making easier, make it easier to figure out what you're going to wear every day and not to make you feel bad about the fact that you feel like you don't have anything to wear in your closet, even though it's
Yeah.
stuffed to the brim.
Yes. Okay, what's another myth you wanna bust?
Okay, so this word stylist can be
Uh-huh.
really scary to people. People think only celebrities can have stylists, only the ultra
Totally.
rich can have stylists. But the truth is, those are just the stylists who are on your Instagram feed and in the media. And
Uh,
yes, you, as a quote unquote normal everyday person, can have a stylist. You can have a closet coach. You can have someone who gets you, who you can rely on to guide you in dressing more of the way that you want to dress.
what I'm hearing is a through line that's really dismantling this mindset of there are things that are available only for certain people. There's an upper level of people who can afford it, or they deserve it, or they figured it out soon enough. That age old thing of that's for them, not me. And I'm really hearing it's not reserved for other people. This sense,
Yes.
this being able to feel like you have a sense of your own style and feel like
Mm.
you have ease in your day with this.
Yes. Yeah. Anyone can have access to fantastic clothing that they feel great in.
Yeah, I feel like
A
that's
lot of
not
it.
widely accepted as a truth.
It's not. It's really
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
Is there another myth you want to bust?
Another big one, I think, is really around body shape and size. Because again, everything that we're seeing in the media is celebrities and models who are only photographed primarily when they look fantastic.
Mhm,
They also have personal trainers, personal chefs, they have stylists, they have a huge team around them creating that look. And you don't see anything that they did to get there. You
mhm,
didn't see any of the work they put in to get there. And we just need to work a lot more on our own self compassion. And as cheesy as it sounds, like loving our body the way that it is.
mhm.
Because if we start there, we can really feel good about the way that we dress as well.
I think that's such an important first step. I had a
Hmm.
really
It is.
visceral experience of my brand update that I did what was that, last year? And I worked with Pagery Creative, whose interview just came out in August, and she was wonderful to work with. And I think I could have had a very different experience of that because we did photos and we did makeup and we did hair and we did clothes on my body and no, look at me. And
Yes.
I was not in the best shape of my life.
Hmm.
I was actually having, like, a really hard, like, emotionally hard year, and I was just, like it was in the shape I was in, and I remember making this very conscious decision because 'cause I've done so much work just getting to this place where I don't, hate my body. I made this really conscious decision that I'm gonna love these photos, and I'm gonna love the fact that I look however the frickin' frack I look in them, She really helped me figure out the clothes that would make me feel these feelings that you're talking about, which I wanna get into more, like, how do you figure this out?
Yeah.
Because I did feel fantastic, and for most of my life, that was mutually exclusive. My personal rules were either, like, "You're chubby or you get to feel good," and, that's harsh language, but that's the language that is in our head so much of the time. So, to your point of you have to do the work of building self-compassion and building self-acceptance. I'm so grateful I was able to have that experience because it's so possible for me to just have all of these beautiful photos and be like, "Oh, could have gone to the gym more, but didn't." And that's not what I see. I think lots of us put ourselves in this position where we think we can only like how we look later because we have stuff to fix,
Mhm.
or we have to settle for like, this is what I
For
woke
what we
up
are
with.
now.
I want to hear your
Mhm.
thoughts on that.
It's perfectionism.
Mm.
It's either I have failed or I have found perfection. And unfortunately, the truth is, when it comes to the way that we look and our bodies and everything, if we let ourselves, we will always find one more thing we want to fix.
Mhm.
Even if, let's say, you had, killed yourself for 2 months before that photo shoot and you worked out, you dieted, all these things, you felt strong, you felt like you were skinny enough. Maybe you would have gotten on set that day and thought, my hair just doesn't look the way I want my hair to look.
Totally.
Or I didn't have time to go get a manicure. There will always be something, if you let yourself, there will always be something that you find that's not perfect within yourself.
Yeah, because that's the precedent you've set. Look for
Exactly.
what's wrong.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. So I think a great first step for people if they're trying to start this journey of loving their body more, loving the way that they feel when they get dressed in the morning, start by just identifying one thing that you like about yourself visually.
Mhm.
It can be as small as the color of your eyes,
Great.
something that you can't even change that. Well, I
Yeah.
guess you can with the contacts.
Yeah. But yes,
You cut out for a
that is
second.
a really clear first step that people can take because you have to
Yes,
start
yes.
training your
Figure out.
brain, right?
Yeah. So let's say you love the color of your eyes. Well, what top color can you wear that you feel makes your eyes pop? And just start there.
Oh, yeah.
Just start gravitating towards that color, and you'll automatically feel better every single day that you wear that color. And then you can
Mm.
find something else. I think many people, especially in our age range, we're starting to embrace how our neckline looks. So, maybe try wearing like a little off shoulder top or a little asymmetrical top. You can still wear the comfy pants and the sneakers. That's fine.
Yes.
Just take it step by step and embrace and emphasize the parts of yourself that you already love.
It sounds small, but you gotta start somewhere, and the easiest place to
Yes.
start is small because you can't start with the hardest thing, you're setting yourself up to fail. So, you not only will give yourself instant gratification, it sounds like, of honing in on this one thing that you like, emphasizing it, highlighting it, you'll also start training your brain to notice things you like about yourself
Yes. Mhm.
and
Mhm.
change that
Yeah.
probably decades-long habit of looking for what you don't like.
Yeah, and then with anything else, when those negative thoughts do come up, try to notice them and try to refute them. Basically, those negative thoughts coming up like, "Ugh, my hips are too big." That's someone else's opinion.
That's
That
someone
was
else's opinion. Wait, confetti for
Yes.
that. Yes.
Yes. It
Someone else's opinion, someone else taught you. That is what
Yes,
you need
someone
to think.
else handed you that opinion at some point in your life, and you were like, "Oh, this is fact." It's not. Not at all.
And that's a decision available to you to make right now today. If that's your journey and you're listening to this on the day you need to make this decision, you can draw that line in the sand. We do not speak to ourselves this way anymore. We are no longer
Yes.
interested in thinking this way.
Mhm.
It's hard work, but it's work worth doing because then you get to this place where you're describing more options, more freedom, more like, oh, okay, I want to feel good about how I dress. I want to feel like I know my style, which could matter for various reasons, which I think we should get into. So, on
Yes.
that note, let me ask this. Why do you care about helping people find their
Mm.
style?
Oh my goodness. So, I know that clothing can have such a huge, huge, huge impact on people's mental health. So many of us, we do all of these things to improve your mental health, go to therapy, get a coach, exercise. We eat differently on purpose. but we don't even think about the clothing part. We don't even think about clothes except for every single day when we walk into our closet and go, "Oh, this again. Okay. Well, here's the pants. Here's the top that'll work. Done. Moving on." But
Mhm.
then many of us are putting so much work into other areas of our lives to improve the way that we feel and improve the way that we show up in the world. We might do things to give us more confidence or to feel more powerful or to even learn things, get more education so you can get that promotion or change careers. Clothing matters in that equation as well. And it matters a lot because if you know your style and you know how you want to show up in the world, that is the first thing that allows you to take control of any situation you're walking into.
Ooh. Okay,
If
you
you
have to
walk
say more
into,
about that.
let's say that you're walking into an interview. I think people already put some work into how do I want to dress for an interview,
Mhm.
but let's really think about it from that first impression perspective. If you show up to that interview and you're fine, you're dressed acceptably, you're dressed professional enough, but you pretty much blend in. You're not standing out, you're not memorable.
Mhm.
You're just gonna blend in with all of the other candidates. You may be the most educated, you may be the most qualified for the job, but you're not memorable. So, just the same as you work on your interview skills to really nail that interview and be memorable in terms of how you answer the questions,
Mm.
another really great tool to have in your toolbox is to be able to walk into that room feeling so confident, not messing with your clothes. Maybe you put on a pair of pants that look fantastic, but then you're sitting there and you're uncomfortable the whole time because they're actually like a little bit too tight or you just feel awkward.
Yes. You're tamping yourself down so you don't stand out in a bad way, right? Let me make myself as not memorable as possible. Let me just make myself as bland and regular looking so that I look acceptable to these people. It's a really interesting spin that you're putting on the whole why do you care about your style conversation. What I keep getting from how you phrase it is your style doesn't exist for other people's opinions. It doesn't exist
Mm-mm.
to satisfy them or make the good impressions according to them. It's really to make you feel how you want to,
Yes.
right?
Yes, yes, exactly. And if you're going to an event and you don't want to stand out, there's still definitely a way that you can dress to make yourself feel more confident being in that room, but being able to move around it in the way you want to move around it and blend in when you want to blend in.
Right. So, why do you think people struggle with their style? Why do you think we end up in this position where you're describing? We don't really think about clothes except for every single day. And we end up feeling either uninspired or overwhelmed. Why do we end up here? Why isn't it easy?
I think as we go through life, we totally get out of the habit of experimenting with our clothes.
Mm,
We did that when we were younger, but we're not that age anymore. We're not in college. We're not just entering into the professional world. Life goes through changes.
mm,
And as people go through, especially big life changes, having kids, career changes, all of those are the things that we focus on. We're only concerned about that huge life change. No one ever thinks about, wait, how does this change affect the way that I want to dress and show up in the world?
interesting. I'm remembering my mom doing a massive closet clean out, and there was this whole chunk of her wardrobe that was from like a really depressed time. And it was all just depressing clothes. And she was like, oh my God, I can't wait to never see these things again.
Hmm.
And I'm imagining people going through phases where they had a life before kids and then they had life with little kids. And now they might have life with older kids or they
Yes.
were in a certain field and then they completely changed careers and they had a regular way that they dressed for that job, that phase of their life, and they transitioned. And what I'm hearing is, I think, and it makes a lot of sense, like we don't always update. We don't always factor
Oh,
in the style and the clothing to this new period of life.
yeah. And when you're going through those transitions, especially if it's something like if you're a woman who's having a child, your body is changing, or maybe you're going through a really hard time with your health, there's things there that are all related to your body. as you're going through that, it's all you can do to put a piece of fabric on your body every day that is acceptable enough that you can just get through your day. And that's completely fine. I'm definitely not expecting people to dress great every day, 'cause that's unrealistic. But once you're through that period, we're never given the opportunity or think to take the time and refocus back on ourselves and think, okay, I'm through that. Now I'm here. Now what? Now, how do I want to feel every day? How do I want to show up in the world?
Yeah. So you're in these you wake up in the period of life that you're in. You're open to giving some more thought to your style. What is in it for people, in your professional opinion, to actually go through with that and put some thought into this and feel better about their style?
I think it is just as important as therapy, a personal trainer, anything like that, because it can really help you arrive at that new time and new chapter in your life. It can help you fully embrace it in really every single way.
Mm. Yeah, when you and I spoke about this and we were talking about like what's the problem? Why do you care? Why do I care? Even just that little conversation helped me realize, oh, this doesn't seem like a big daily problem. It's not a bill to pay or something very obvious and concrete.
Mhm. Right.
It is contributing to the feeling of, I do not know myself as well as I could. It is contributing
Yes.
to this feeling like I'm not totally on board with my whole self.
Uh-huh.
And
Yes.
it's
There's parts of
subtle.
you that you're ignoring and putting on the back burner because there's no time for that right now.
Yes. I think I described it as leftover energy.
Right.
Like
Yes.
I work hard, being a human in the
Yes.
world is hard.
Yes.
So my feeling is I've gotten to where I can by myself and like that's enough. That's all I can do. And I feel like I give myself this leftover energy of like, we're just going to wear what we're going to wear. And it's just going to be fine. It's not that
Mhm.
important.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. That'll get me through so I can do all the other more important things.
Yeah.
But it is important. It's very important.
It's probably also one of those things like you don't know what you don't know. I think it's really
Mhm.
powerful to have a memory or a vision in your mind of a time that your clothing or your style really impacted how you feel and how you show up.
Mhm.
I was talking to you about
Yes.
this one outfit I wore when I visited Kenny's set, and his director called me resort chic. And I was like, "Holy shit, yeah, that's what I'm going for." And I just felt like a badass all day, and it wasn't hard.
Mhm.
It wasn't expensive, but it completely changed how I felt, how I acted, how I carried
Mhm.
myself. Locking on to a memory of that or a vision of that helps you realize, "Oh, this is what you're kinda not giving yourself every day," or "This is the
Yes.
gap you're leaving between leftover energy and total confidence, total self-embodiment, authenticity," whatever you wanna
Right.
call it.
And if you think back to that day and you try to count how many negative thoughts you had about yourself and your body throughout that day, and then you try to count how many times you were like, "Ooh, I look good. Oh, this is cute. Ooh, I like
Oh,
this.
I didn't even
Yeah."
think about that. Yeah.
So then compare that to a normal day.
Mhm.
In a normal day, when you're just putting on the leftovers out of your closet, whatever. Same thing I wore yesterday because it's not dirty yet. Fine. How many negative like, we
Get
all
out of
do
my
it, let's just
head,
be honest.
Kelsey.
Look, I am not perfect either. I work from home. I am the
But it
same
is
as all of you.
I
And
appreciate you
so
calling it out, though. It's so easy to discount the impact of that because it's like,
yes.
we get it. We get that we are conserving energy. We get that we are trying to minimize decision fatigue, and we get that it looks like a fine choice on paper. Just wear the
Mhm,
same thing, or
mhm,
just
yeah,
basically wear the same thing.
it's
It's fine.
fine.
But holy moly,
Mhm,
look at the impact it has, and look at
yes.
this is such a brilliant question you're asking us to think about. How do you think about yourself? What are the emotions you feel? And are
Yeah.
you depriving yourself of even the opportunity to feel confident or amazing or self assured?
Uh-huh.
So, you've talked us through busting some myths off the bat so that people aren't discouraged before they even get into this conversation of style.
Yes.
You've told us why you care and what it matters to you.
Yeah, I really think everyone deserves to feel great, and so if I can help with that, I'm gonna help with that.
And we've talked about what can the impact be? Why can this be not just meaningful, but pretty life changing? So now what? Now what do we do? How do we figure it out?
I'm all about helping people start at the beginning. A lot of people feel overwhelmed before they even start to try to think about what they want to wear because they don't even know their style to begin with. We can start there.
That's a
That's a
fine
really
place to
important
start.
it's a really important
Okay.
place to start.
Good to know.
Yes. I did create a little workbook to help people with that. So if you're the type of person that loves to do self-guided learning, I've got a
Homework.
tool for you. Yeah, if you love homework, I made you some.
Know your audience. We like rules and we like homework.
Exactly. There's a little challenge at the end of my workbook to try to put together one new outfit from your existing closet.
Mm.
So we're not about buying a bunch of new stuff. You probably have a lot of things in your closet that you just haven't taken the time to experiment with. Have some
Yeah.
fun.
Play
Play
dress
dress
up.
up. So if you're
Yes.
ready for homework, play dress up.
Yes. Go to the show notes and get Kelsey's workbook for free.
Yes. And then, of course, anyone can book a style discovery call with me if you want to get into it more and really have more one on one help with that process. If
Okay.
you want more support, I'm here for you.
Yes. We don't have to do it alone. We don't have to
No,
figure
you
everything
don't.
out by ourselves. Help is available, you guys.
Yes, it is. It can be more fun. It can be easier.
All the things we want. All the things
Yeah.
we want. Do you want to share a
Yeah.
little bit about how
So,
you work with people just so they know their options? What would somebody having a closet coach look like?
what that looks like is we can start with the style discovery call, chat for 15 minutes, figure out if this is right for you in this season of your life. We would get into coaching, starting with let's figure out your unique style to begin with. Let's figure out how you want to feel every day. And then we get into some really fun stuff. We can make vision boards. We can clean out your closet, get rid of all the
Ooh.
stuff that makes you feel not so great, especially if there's pieces that you've been holding on to because it's like, oh, if I can just lose 20 pounds. Yeah, no, someone else's
Okay.
opinion. Again, we'll break down all of those negative thoughts in your head, squash that inner critic when it comes to clothes,
Scared.
and really start experimenting. And I'll get really specific too. As I get to know you, that's where the actual stylist part of things comes in. It really starts with more of a coaching vibe. And then I work the stylist part into that. So I will suggest complete looks for you to purchase if that's what you need is to actually buy new clothes to fill out
Uh-huh.
your closet. Maybe you have just entered into a new phase of your life and you're a completely different size.
Yeah.
Maybe every single thing in your closet fits you. That's cool too. I really tailor it for the person I'm working with. And one of my strengths, if I may say so myself, is being able to really hear what people are saying and dig into the subcontext that might be
Mm.
there and really help people figure out what they want and then find a solution for that.
And people don't have to be local to you to work with you, correct?
No, we can do it all over Zoom. The magic of Zoom.
You can be anywhere. Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us how to find you. Perfect segue.
On Instagram, I am at your.closetcoach. You can find me there. And from there, you can find everything else. Just go to the link in bio. You can get my free download, hop over to my website and book a dial discovery call wherever you are in your fashion journey.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing everything you did. I appreciate you
Thank you. I appreciate
stopping
you.
by.
Thanks for having me back for a second time.
Well, I have a feeling there will be a third. Your wisdom doesn't run out. So,
Until next time, wear what you want.
bye, everybody. Hey, want to find out your decision style? Obviously, go take the